B-1 bomber, B-2 bomber, and it was a radar countermeasure system. So that was my specialty. So I was making $80,000 or $90,000 back in the 80s, 98, 90s. I was in my company already. So in the 80s, I was making, so that's pretty good money, right? Back in the 80s, that was a lot of money. But
in the old days.
In your good old days. But the problem is, or I should say the challenge or the situation is, that it's not about intellect. I have seen cosmic failures of people who graduated magna cum laude with MBAs from Harvard, Yale, and all the major schools. It has nothing to do with money, or very little to do with money, guys. I have seen tremendous failures of companies that started with 10, 20, $30 million in stock cash, managed and run by brilliant people, crash and burn. The statistics you see for business fatalities is not limited by education or by how much money they got undercapitalized. So the capitalized companies, the companies that are run by very smart people, fail with the same frequency and the same statistics as the guy who barely got out of high school. Matter of fact, it seems like most of the people who do really good are what? The college dropouts, right? Right? Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, you know. So, you know, I'm like, anybody getting degrees and becoming billionaires? No, it's not. So the point I'm making is intellect, money. Do you need, should you be at least of average intellect? Absolutely. Money, should your business be capitalized? Absolutely. It's the mother's milk of business, which is one of the second solutions we offer. We're all about capital raises and acquisitions, as well as infusions of cash into businesses. Great teams, great products, marketing strategies, all those things are great. But you know what, guys? They add up at their height no more than 20% of your financial trajectory. The other 80% is contained in these hidden principles that we're getting into tonight, that I gave you a few of. We're going to get into as many as we can have time for tonight. That's 80% of your financial trajectory. So if you're at a point, you're probably at 20% of your zenith, of your highest point. I don't care how many millions of dollars you're making. Wonderful, God bless you. But you're probably not at your full potential in terms of your trajectory momentum. So intellect and all of that's important, but that's 20%. The other 80% are hidden. They're counterintuitive. And like I said, we start right off the bat with changing your mindset and perspective. That if you want to go down the road of wealth, you better have a significant relationship with an artificial person. Okay? Otherwise, who are the only people that, look, let's talk about definition of income. What's the definition of income for everybody in this room? What's the definition of income? Salary, or every dollar you get, right? Every dollar that touches your hot human hands is income, and therefore taxable, because only income is taxable. So now you know why the rich aggressively avoid income. That's why Donald Trump hasn't paid, wrong word, he's paid the minimum legal tax. Okay, he paid the taxes, but he paid the minimum legal tax. 5 years ago, Kooge, there was a New York Times expose. I didn't think it was so much of an expose. It was all about how the rich don't pay their fair share. Now, that's not news, right? And so they went into this exhaustive piece, and the takeaway was that the rich pay little to nothing. But the emphasis was on most of the rich pay absolutely nothing. The minimum legal tax, where unfortunately a number of you in this room probably are paying the maximum legal tax. Okay? We're talking about protecting assets. We're talking about the tax man. And again, I always take the tax man last because it's controversial. We don't want to seem like, okay, you must pay your taxes. Don't go to the IRS or the great state of Florida and say, Terrence Cash or my friends at Greenlight said, I have to pay your taxes. Because you won't be properly quoting me. You have to pay your taxes, but you're only obligated to pay the minimum legal tax. You're going way above and beyond by paying the maximum legal tax. You're not considered to be any more patriotic, okay, by paying that fee. So it's all about the minimum legal tax. So protecting your assets, one of the major drains on your wealth is taxes, the tax authorities. In his book, Ziad Abdel Noor, who was the son of a Lebanese parliament member. A number of his family were in the parliament, Kooge. He runs a little $10 billion hedge fund out of New York. And Ziad's book, Economic Warfare, I encourage everybody to read it. You know, it's a page turner. You know, it's a little technical, but it's a page turner. They gave this fictitious example to show you the illustration of how taxes will erode your wealth over time. So they have this fictitious example. It's not real life, where if $1 doubles every day, okay, and if you got 10% interest, right, which you know we're talking about, you know, maybe we're talking about those two things, right? So in one case, 20 years later, that would be about $1,054,000. Then you take that same investment that's doubling every day, the same interest rate on it, you're making 10% interest, but now with a modest 33% tax rate. I'd say 60 or 70% of the people in this room, between state, local, and federal, are paid north of 33%, right? You guys know, you look at your numbers and you go, you know, you look at the gross, you go, wow. And you look at the net, you go, this is gonna be tough. So you go that second route, and you have, after 20 years, drum roll, $28,000. A difference of $1 million. So in one case, I am a millionaire, right? In the other case, I wish I was a millionaire. I wish I knew a millionaire. Somebody help me out, okay? So just that example tells you the corrosive effects of taxes. Just on that front alone, you could fret away what considered to be $1 million fortune, right? A difference of $1 million. So we start with these concepts, these philosophies, that you have to start manipulating your financial affairs as an artificial person, as a legal person. They have all the rights and privileges you have. They have none of the detractions, and as it relates to money, it's the only show in town. You know, it's the only show in town. So we start there.
Okay, now we're about to open up the floor. Let me make this announcement so everybody understands and is on tape. Terrence Cash is not representing himself as your lawyer or your financial advisor. His answers are going to be theoretical. Get a lawyer, get a financial advisor if you don't have it. But one of the reasons that I invited Terrence is, after listening to his presentation, I realized that sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So unless somebody's in the room to help you to figure out, it's not asking the right questions, it's even knowing what the questions are that you need to be asking. And there are no dumb questions on the topic that we are talking about today. So my question to you, does anybody, we're going to sort of start this side of the room and go that way because of the technical reasons. Does anybody at this table have any questions? And I'll bring the mic out to you and we'll adjust. Can you get okay. We're going to go to Jonathan Blount to begin. Jonathan Blount, light count for our first question. Hold on. Let me know when cameras are ready to roll. Go.
Terrence, my life experience has taught me that I actually have come to the conclusion that financial intelligence and financial literacy has been intended